Welcome to Parnell Park for the go-ahead Dublin Senior 1 Football Championship semi-final between Kilmacud Crokes and Thomas Davis. Crokes, the defending champions. Thomas Davis haven't won it since 1991. Crokes won the first of their 9 titles the year after Thomas Davis won their last. That was 92 that Crokes won, and obviously 91 the last title for Thomas Davis. They last reached the final in 2019 and they beat Crokes along the way. The manager today, Kieran Farrelly, scored 1-1 in that game, 212 to 110 it finished. Well, it's a beautiful day in Parnell Park as we peer into the golf course and back in towards that golf course end goal. The players warming up, the referee in the middle, Dave Feeney. And it should be a tight and intriguing game. Let's get an idea what the conditions are like and what we should expect from the match with Shane Stapleton and Paul Clark.
Parnell Park for the second go-ahead Dublin Senior Football Championship semi-final. This one between Thomas Davis and Kilmacud Crokes to see who will go to the final alongside Nafina. I'm joined by Paul Clark to preview this game. Paul, what sort of game are you expecting today?
I think it's going to be really close. I think yesterday we got a battle where at Ballyboden were going to be the stronger team and thought maybe that they were going to get through, but it certainly showed that if a team puts a shape in it and has a plan, that they get through. And I think Thomas Davis are a structured team like that they understand their strengths, they know their weaknesses, and they'll put it up to Kilmacud Crokes.
Yeah, from here it looks like Paul Mannion, obviously a star forward, he's going to be back in with Dublin next year. It looks like he's over there on the sideline with a boot on his right foot, so he seems to be out and probably out for some time. But then again, this Crokes team got all the way to an All-Ireland club final without him last year.
Yeah, it's very sad last year the season to be cut short, and possibly, without him, Crokes didn't win the All-Ireland. If the season's cut short again this year and he misses out in the county final, if they get to a county final, it'll be very disappointing for them. And I'm sure Desi, will be disappointed to hear that too. But I look to see, an introduction to Shane Cunningham is in the starting 15. He didn't start the last day and came on, and he's a key player to Crokes. I think a former captain as well, so very important to see that guy in the team.
So on the Thomas Davis side, since they were last in a final in 2019 when they lost to Ballyboden, how has that team changed? And in terms of some of the younger players like Fionn Murray coming in, what have they brought to the team?
Well, they've probably been around the club at an underage structure, and they know what the senior players have been doing. It's not like a once-off for Thomas Davis. They have been around and knocking on the door for a number of years. So they've probably been bled through the structure, and most senior management nowadays look towards their lower grades and how it's going and how it's developing. So anybody that's in the Thomas Davis squad have been around a while and are just now getting game time. And I think there's none of those guys are going to be afraid of Kilmacud Crokes. There's none of those guys are going to be in awe of them. And as I said, Thomas Davis have a structure and they'll stick to it. And
one final question then. Shane Walsh had a bit of a baptism of fire against Coola. They really stuck it up to him, but he was able to respond too. What do you do if you're Thomas Davis about trying to stop one of the best players in the country?
Well, if you put too much attention on him, other great players in the Kilmacud Crokes will come through and get the scores. But look, Shane is a quality player. He knows coming to Dublin was never going to be easy for him. Whether it's the pressure from his old club, whether it's pressure from his county, or the pressure that's on his shoulders as the player that he is. But he won't have it easy today, but I'm sure we'll see some quality scores and quality play from him as well.
Absolutely. Throwing fast approaching here up to Oisín in the commentary box.
We're about to start the second go-ahead Dublin Senior 1 Football Championship semi-final. The Thomas Davis goalkeeper taking his spot in the goals down to our right, the golf course end. And Paul, he was screaming at his teammates and indeed maybe the Crokes players who were in a huddle from the start. There was an extra word in there that I won't add, but Thomas Davis, that's the message, isn't it? Go from the start. And we'll get to the conversation and the preview after the moment's silence. The moment's silence respectfully observed by both the Kilmacud Crokes and Thomas Davis supporters, both of whom had all the time in the world for the man we were remembering, Brian Mullins, the late great Brian Mullins. And this is a contest that he would have savoured, Paul Clark.
Yeah, two really strong teams out today. Even though Paul Mannion's missing, Crokes are at nearly full strength, starting 15, and Thomas Davis the same. I expect to go hard and fast early on. We have plenty of strong tussles, and look, teams aren't going to win, county semi-finals with 6 or 7 points on the board. You're going to be bracketing up, 13 or 14 points, or 112 or 113. So, that's what you've got to go for, and that's what you're going to get.
Thomas Davis got here via victory over Castleknock for Kilmacud Crokes. They squeezed it out against Coola. Here's Ben Shovlin, and that's a complete miscue. Paul Mannion not involved for Kilmacud Crokes today. Went off injured in the last game, hasn't recovered. Bringing it forward, Adam Waddick. Floating one inside, 3 Crokes players around. And McGowan got in and just nipped it back to Conor Ferris. Ferris very comfortable in possession. The long-term replacement for the long-term goalkeeper David Nestor. What a servant he was to Kilmacud Crokes. Had that monster boot of a ball on him. Dara Mullen. Shovlin dispossessed, regathers and wins the free in.
The first shoulder was strong, nothing wrong with it. I think it was just guys were a little bit too eager to go in on top afterwards and just push him to ground.
McGowan. Aidan Jones. O'Carroll. Such experience, such sturdiness. Craig Diaz. Killian O'Shea. Crokes, the defending Dublin champions, also Leinster champions, beaten by Kilcoo in the All-Ireland final. Kilcoo squeezing through their quarter-final and down last weekend on penalties. Shane Walsh. Dan O'Brien. Crokes probing, but not finding a way through. Fionn Murray tackling hard, but gaining a few metres was Tom Fox, illegally so though, and it's a free out to Thomas Davis. And all of those kind of things, they're early wins, aren't they? They're early boosts.
That's what Thomas Davis are good at. If you want to carry ball into numbers, they will put more numbers in that contact and into that tackle and turn the ball over. They're really good at it. Cian Murphy seems to go down centre half back to mark Shane Walsh, who was named at corner forward. He's at centre forward, and Shane Cunningham has gone inside for Kilmacud.
Shorten concentrating on Gaelic football now. Was a decent soccer player, well I'm sure he still is, but football is taking the priority. Owen Kirby. Gavin Carruth. Carruth trying to get past Diaz, does really well. Advantages coming. Carruth. The free is coming anyway. They won't need it. Good score.
Fine score, but I think he hurt himself in the process there, limping out. I don't know whether it was in the tackle itself or actually in the delivery of the shot. Went a little bit side on and maybe to give himself a little bit of a twist.
Gavin Carruth with the opening score. Shane Walsh dropping deep enough at the moment. Another free out, a foul from behind, a little tug from Shane Cunningham, who played when these two met in 2019. Thomas Davis winning that day. Crokes trying to squeeze the ball carrier. I think that's Cian Murphy, and Crokes get the decision. You can tell by the crowd reactions. This one is a big one. They're already into this. There's a great atmosphere. Ross McGowan made a dart forward, but they go backwards and it's intercepted by Guilfoyle. Guilfoyle inside to Fionn Murray, the Dublin underage player. Fionn Murray, what a goal! What a start for Thomas Davis. What a poor mistake from Crokes, and they have been punished.
It's a super composed finish, bearing down on goal. Parnell Park Championship semi-final, being chased down, and he had the composure to finish low and low to the right. Keeper had no chance.
Waddick continues his run. Waddick was there in support, got it back from Owen Lambert. Might take it on himself here. Good hand in there. O'Carroll goes falling, a free out. But Fionn Murray, he might be young, but he's the head of a much more experienced player there while finishing that. It might have seemed like it was an easy opportunity, but in a county semi-final there's no such thing. McGowan.
He's on good scoring form as well. Okay, that's his first chance and first goal today, but 4 points the last day, so he's important to Thomas Davis.
It's a decent ball inside. Walsh couldn't get a hold of it though. Great defending. Thomas Davis, as you would expect, up for this one. Davy Keogh chased down by McGowan. McGowan fouls him, free in. Davy Keogh, current Dublin senior hurler, very, very hard worker. Well, let's have a look at the goal. It was a bad mistake from Crokes, but they took full advantage. Murray, an exquisite finish.
I was watching Ryan Deegan before the game, striking a few balls from this distance, and he's an unbelievable left foot, a big boomer.
Played O'Byrne Cup football for Dublin. That's spinning in, that could be dangerous. Ferris fists it away, and luckily for him it falls to a purple and gold jersey. Craig Diaz. Shane Walsh. Walsh, man of the match in the All-Ireland final, while he was Sky Sports man of the match. RTE gave it to Clifford. Killian O'Shea, David Clifford, just to be clear. Paddy was in the running as well. He had a fantastic game. McGowan. Killian O'Shea made the underlapping run, didn't get it back. Tom Fox just kept a hold of it. O'Carroll. Dan O'Brien. O'Brien goes for it and gets it. That's a really fine point by Dan O'Brien.
Dan O'Brien probably with Desi Farrell, when Desi first took over, was seen as a half forward, a wing half forward, a player with a lot of skill, a lot of natural talent, and it's surprising to see him play and be named at cornerback. But when you have that skill and you come up the pitch, it's always a threat. That's good to have.
Nice warm conditions despite the fact that it's the 2nd of October. Davis go long again. They're looking for Kirby. Guided away from Kirby. He'll try and win it back. Sweeping in Mullen. He's fouled, free out. And Mullen is still down. And while that's happening, players are getting some water on board. Not sure what that reaction from the crowd was about. Water bottles just being thrown in from everywhere. Well, Mullen is okay. They have obviously a few options on the bench, including Theo Clancy, who came on in the All-Ireland final. Craig Diaz. Good ball by Diaz. Well caught in the middle. Tom Fox. Ben Shovlin. Craig Diaz. Diaz spins out of the tackle. Fine work from Diaz, trying to get away from Waddick. Referee says no foul. Shane Walsh went outside, wants it back as always. Here's Shane Cunningham. Cunningham with a monster score. Fantastic score.
He didn't even have to look at the umpire, just look at the players. He struck the ball and he was celebrating as soon as he struck it. There's no need to look at the posts at all. Great score.
Crokes with the last 2 points have settled into this one. Robert Crilly wasn't always a goalkeeper, used to play outfield, then went to Australia, came back as a keeper. He's hoping to face one of his Australian teammates in the final. Aaron Byrne and him won a title with Cormac McAnallans. That's a poor one from Crokes into the forward line, and interestingly they actually applaud each other, even though it wasn't a particularly good moment. They're just encouraging each other.
So Crokes are putting up a 3 full forward line on top of the D to stop any short runs. They have their 3 half forward line in pretty much tight, and they've pushed wing half forwards or wing half backs up the pitch to cover in space there. So it's like a 3-3-2-3 formation.
We're delighted to have you along today, no matter where you're watching from around the world. Don't forget you can join the conversation, #GoAheadDSF1. Already today, St. Sylvester's winning the semi-final in Senior 2, so they'll play Senior 1 next year. But who will be the champions of Senior 1? We'll get a clearer indication today. It'll be down to 2 after today, and remember, it does have to end today. Cillian O'Shea. McGowan. Dan O'Brien, who scored that wonderful point a couple of minutes ago. Shane Walsh. It's a good run. Anytime he runs and gives the ball off, he's covered from getting the ball back. Sticking with them at the moment is Cian Murphy. Makes sense. Ross McGowan. Aidan Jones was outside, didn't go to him, instead goes to Dan O'Brien, who finds Craig Diaz. O'Carroll standing waiting for the ball to come back to him, but Tom Fox goes for it. Trying to get under this is Hugh Kenny, but it goes wide. It's good work from Thomas Davis there. Every avenue was covered. Crokes, while they did get a shot away, it was a forced shot and it was a wide.
Yeah, every pass Crokes have to make, they're put under pressure with the pass. The receiver's put under pressure straight away when he receives it, and anybody shooting from Crokes is put under pressure as well. So it's a pressure game. It's high tempo, it's high energy from Thomas Davis. How long they can keep it up and how long they can keep their lead now is just wait and see.
Eamon Conroy putting pressure on O'Shea. O'Shea does get it under control. Coming out to meet him, Dara Mullen. Dara Mullen looking for a route through. Mullen. Dan O'Brien. Craig Diaz. Diaz is fouled. There was a slight tug on the arm. The referee did spot it. Shane Walsh coming up to take it. The All-Stars haven't been named, but I can say with certainty he will be one this year. Thomas Davis have a man down at the moment. Shane Walsh will take the free. That man is Sean Farrelly.
I'm not sure if it was as a result of the tackle that he twisted himself.
Shane Walsh gets the score. Andrew Kavanagh comes in for Thomas Davis as in the physio to give Sean Farrelly some treatment. Well, that's Andrew Kavanagh who comes in. Played senior hurling with St. Bridget's this year. They kept their Senior 1 status. Andrew Kavanagh, the physio, originally from Wicklow. Ball breaks for Crokes. Shane Walsh, he has all the time in the world. He'll go for it. And he won't get it. It's batted away, but it might fall for Dara Mullen, who allows it to go out for a 45. Didn't have the legs, which is surprising considering the breeze is at his back, but still a positive outcome for Crokes in a sense that they have the 45.
Yeah, it didn't strike a great lot of top spin in it, so it came down very short. Keeper made a really good save. We've seen some of those go over keepers' heads before. That they dropped that quickly, and he got a good save in it, but in doing so he collided with the post, shoulder and head, I think, as it went over the end line.
It takes a lot to knock Crilly. I mentioned there some of the Thomas Davis backroom team, including the physio. Dean Fairbanks and Kevin O'Donovan are working with Kieran Farrelly. They were both around in 1991 when Thomas Davis won the last Senior 1 title that they got their hands on.
Some super players in that area, you know, Davy Ford and Paul Curran, all really great guys. Paul Nugent, Dewars, remember them all well.
I'm sure you remember them fondly and unfondly, having come up against them. Another stoppage, and while that's happening, again the water bottle's thrown in. Sorry, Paul, go ahead.
No, they were tough times. To win the senior championship back then was tough times. I know my own club, Whitehall, we'd come through minor in 21 and we were seen to be a bit of a hope. And I remember we played Coola in the championship, and Coola had the likes of the Holdens and even Con O'Callaghan's dad, Morris, was there, and before the ball was even thrown in, our young team, 3 of our players were on the deck. So yeah, they were great memories.
Crilly's up and running again. Dylan Caffrey is the sub-goalkeeper, has been part of Dublin under-20 squad, so he's not bad, but Crilly, with his experience and his ability to direct his defence, they'd want to keep him on. Shane Walsh. He's already kicked one from the hands. Can he kick one from the deck? Has the distance, has the accuracy. Two in a row for Shane Walsh. And we're all square in the go-ahead Dublin Senior 1 semi-final. Cian Murphy. Spilled. O'Carroll is all over it. Chasing after it is Dara Mullen. He won't get there. Just about beaten to it by Adam Fallon. But Fallon is turned over. Mullen sends it on to O'Carroll. O'Carroll wasn't comfortable shooting. He was fouled. It's another little drag back on the arm, and it's a free in.
I think Rory is playing some of the best football of his career the last 2 years, and particularly this year. He's been really, really good. He's had time at number 3 and at 6, but certainly at this moment in time he's playing brilliant football, looking in great shape and staying really fit.
Shane Walsh. Guides it over. 3 for him, 3 in a row. Crokes lead for the first time in this match. Crilly. Shovlin gets up. What a fetch that is from Shovlin.
Thomas Davis overloaded that side with 5 players, and he kicked to that side. Not one of them contested that kick out.
Craig Diaz is brought to ground. Killian O'Shea stole in behind. He got a few yards on his marker, but he wasn't spotted. I think Shane Walsh is just going to go for this. Again, the breeze. Well, I was about to say the breeze is at his back, but for the first time this weekend, the flag's relatively limp. It was a very strong breeze yesterday. It was strongish for the first game today. It's now fallen to weak, or not that strong. I'm not a meteorologist, so.
You get Gene Bourne in for that next day.
Or Martin King.
Excellent.
Although I don't think Martin does the weather anymore.
He does, yeah. He does
a
little double knock after the 6 o'clock show. He stays on for a bit and does it then.
That's some good TV knowledge. Shane Walsh kicks it wide, a second wide for Crokes, and they still lead by 1. But so good is what you expect. Any kick he takes at goal to go over nearly.
Important now for Daves is to get their hands on one of these kickouts. Really important.
Whether by accident or design, Crilly is slowing it down. McGowan's under that. Craig Diaz takes the break. Back to O'Carroll. Killian O'Shea allowed it to fall his way. Crokes migrating in numbers. Dara Jones, Aidan Jones. Shane Walsh. Good pass. McGowan. Shane Cunningham. Hugh Kenny wanted it. Cunningham lets it go. It's easy to say it because he kicked it wide, but that was the wrong decision.
His last effort he was celebrating because it went over. No celebrating that time.
Crilly. Every kick out that he's launched has kind of come back his way not long after in recent times, but that breaks kindly for Fionn Murray. Since his goal, Thomas Davis haven't really got inside the Crokes 45. Waddick. Lambert. Carruth seems to have recovered from that knock. Sean Kennedy goes outside. Crokes with a good 13 players behind the ball at the moment. That's spilled. I think that's Sean Farrelly who let it go. Falls kindly for Ross McGowan, and it's a free out for Crokes. McGowan wants to take it quickly down towards Shane Cunningham. Cunningham takes it well. He has Shorten for company. Shorten gives away the free. Well, it looked like Cunningham had lost it when he put too much on a solo, but Shorten maybe just left a leg in there.
I don't really slipped and he took him out all right, but definite free. I think there in the last minute or two there's been some contests that Thomas Davis had been winning in the early stages, but certainly Kilmacud Crokes are putting the mark on it physicality wise now. There's been one or two contests and that they've definitely come out top.
Kilmacud Crokes, just like Nafina, still going for the double. Shane Walsh. Well, it took a second or two. Well, he went for the white flag, then waved it wide. The Crokes players having a word with the referee. He'll go in and have a chat. No Hawkeye.
We have two officials in white jackets and the referee, and there's another official, well, he thinks he is behind the hoarding and he's giving his advice.
It's over. Shane Walsh, who's had his Hawkeye issues already this year, puts it over. Thomas Davis scored the first two scores in the game, but since that it's been all Crokes. 6 in a row. Running after it now, McGowan. Dara Mullen. Mullen picked it up off the ground, free out. Remember, Thomas Davis needed that dramatic win against St. Jude's on the last day of the group. They showed what I would call the Thomas Davis traits of never giving up and finding a way to win.
I think keeper could be getting a yellow card here. There's a lot of variables.
Jude's, of course, the finalists last year, beaten by Kilmacud Crokes, a very tight final. Let's go down to Shane Stapleton, who's on the sideline. Shane.
Well, certainly Kilmacud Crokes are boxing in Thomas Davis on Thomas Davis's kick out. This is something we saw in the second half against Tula in the quarter-final the last day out, and the way Crokes are setting up, and they're just laying traps for Thomas Davis, and they've tried different options, they've tried to overload different sides, but they're really struggling to get the ball out of their own half.
Thomas Davis haven't scored since the 4th minute. That Murray goal, their last score, and they won't score now. Crokes have won the free. Diaz, a little bit too much. No, Cunningham does get there, much to his credit. Spot at Ross McGowan. Mullen shoots. And it's over. That's an exquisite score from Dara Mullen, his first of the game.
Yeah, one of the young son heroes of that Kilmacud forward line. Very, very consistent, very, very steady.
And I'm sure Lara Norton has noted everything that Shane was saying there, as in he had already noted. He didn't need Shane to tell him. He'll be watching this with interest. Fionn Murray waiting for it. It does break for Murray. Ferris is off his line quickly. Referee says no foul, but it's still there for Thomas Davis. Trying to pull on it was Kilfoyle, and eventually it's a free out. Should they have had a penalty, Paul Clark?
Yeah, I think it was a fair collision between the two players. Advantage probably going to the goalkeeper because the ball was going towards him.
Let's have a look here, actually. We've got the replay.
What I would question is, we always say, is it a foot block? So soon after this, the ball pulling the ground, you're dropping to your knees. Not really a foot block, but it's good use of the body to block it.
Well, if we can, we might get another look at that. That's a potentially big moment in this game. It's a let-off for Kilmacud Crokes, certainly. And Dan O'Brien, who let that one through his hands.
Well, he was reaching out for the ball, was really out of touch. He only got a fingertip on it. Could you say the keeper wasn't actually going to play the ball and he actually played the man?
McGowan looking for Shovlin. Shovlin has lost it thanks to the tenacious tackling.
It's free inside.
Guilfoyle to Murray, who's such a danger. O'Carroll slaps it out of his hands. Ross McGowan tries to sweep it up. Murray hasn't given up on it. He's so strong. Carroll somehow gets it in hand. O'Carroll. And it's a 45 to Thomas Davis. A hard-earned 45.
Crokes are fortunate enough there now. The free was taken, didn't win the ball, but they left Murray inside all on his own, and if the delivery had been a little bit better, it would have been just a catch and a turn. I think this is out of his range. I'm surprised if he doesn't go short here in some shape or form. Needs someone to run, obviously.
Someone is running, but that someone is covered by McGowan. That someone was full forward. Owen Kirby. It will drop. Who will it drop to? It slips out of the hands. Thomas Davis have possession. And it rebounds and comes to Craig Diaz. Kilmacud Crokes unbelievably lucky. Aidan Jones. Mullen. McGowan. Well, how Thomas Davis haven't got a score in the last minute or two, I don't know. McGowan. Dara Mullen gets there. Popped it off to Shane Walsh. McGowan wanted it. Shane Walsh will go for it himself, and why not? Off the woodwork. And just about still in play. No, now just out of play. It's a wide. A fourth wide for Crokes. Well, twice within a minute the woodwork struck. Once at either end. Let's have a look at this chance for Thomas Davis.
Yeah, I think small square keeper should be coming for that ball every time. Every time. Instead of the midfielder coming off the line. Small square, that's my domain. I'm the goalkeeper. I'm taking that ball. I should be brave enough to go for it.
Ben Shovlin let it slip through his hands, but as you say, maybe the keeper should have been calling. Aidan Jones.
So pattern from the Thomas Davis kick out is long kick out, and you have Eamon Conroy jumping and flicking the ball on 2 or 3 times now. He's done that.
Tom Fox. Diaz made a run but was covered by Eamon Conroy. They have to go backwards to McGowan. Ross to Andy, the brothers. Dan O'Brien. O'Brien, who is a big future in blue as well as purple and gold. He was collided with there by Ryan Deegan. Shane Walsh floats it over. That's beautiful. He's first of the game, as in he's first from play. Dan O'Brien getting some running repairs.
Yeah, Ryan Deegan just gave him a little bit of a clip on the way by. Linesman seeing it, referee noted, and I just had a quick word with him there.
And off he goes. Crilly. Shovlin gets a big hand on that, directs it down to Cillian O'Shea. Now it's Hugh Kenny. Kenny somehow squeezes through and then loses it in the crowd, and Thomas Davis get the free out. Crilly. Carruth. Attempting to make a hit there with Hugh Kenny. He got it wrong. Nothing wrong with it from the Thomas Davis point of view. They've got the free in now.
That was a bull of a run. The God, he carried it 70 yards. There were 2 or 3 contacts with him. And bounced up, ready to go again. Powerful.
Hugh Kenny just got his timing wrong. He wasn't fouled. It was just one of those unfortunate collisions.
Maybe underestimated what was coming at him. Davis now need to get a score or two. They need to just get back, and understand that they've had, again, created chances, didn't take them, maybe didn't get a free that was possibly there, or a penalty if you want to question that, and then they weren't alert enough to the ball that went in from the 50, hit the post, and again didn't react to that. So it's important now that they get a score or two, at least going into half time with a feeling that they're well in the game, but they still are.
The Crokes have brought in Cian O'Connor in the young but very experienced bracket. Hugh Kenny will go off. I imagine he's a blood sub. They'll try and get him back in, but Cian O'Connor, an adequate replacement. This is another bull of a run from Thomas Davis. Popping up Adam Fallon. Fallon keeps it alive. Deegan got the pass away. I think that's Owen Kirby taking the shot off the woodwork for the second time. O'Carroll flicks it, but only as far as a Thomas Davis player who slots it over, and I think that was Guilfoyle. It was Guilfoyle. It's a good point.
Yeah, that's what they needed there.
Their first score since the 4th minute. Diaz calls the mark. Well, they deserved a slice of luck. Nothing lucky about Guilfoyle's finish. And that is half-time. Conor Guilfoyle, who's been involved with Dublin under 20 panels in the past, make sure that Thomas Davis go in a little closer to Crokes than they were. 8 points, plays 1-2. Paul, what have you made of it?
Yeah, it's really exciting. It's the start that you probably really wanted us to say. Thomas Davis are in here for the battle. 2 early scores, great goal, mistake by Crokes, but Crokes did not panic at all. Kept it very calm. Won their frees were taken, scored well. But I think that was an important score at the end for Daves. They were worth that point for the effort that they put in for that period of time of 15 minutes when they had 2 or 3 chances. So, I think both teams will go in, quite happy at half time where they're at, and it's all to play for.
Let's have a look at some of the highlights in the first half. It was a great start for Thomas Davis. Carruth kicking that one. And then Murray taking full advantage of that Crokes mistake, but he still had to finish it, and boy did he. Nothing Ferris could do. Crokes then took over the game, but not before Thomas Davis had chances to add scores. Dan O'Brien with Crokes first of the match. The first of 8 points in a row for Kilmacud Crokes. Diaz playing his part in the second one. This was a good score, Paul.
Yeah, fine score by Cunningham. He held off the man, and he like a forehand to the chest and just pushed him away, kept his balance and composure to finish, and he celebrated straight away. As soon as he struck the ball, he was celebrating.
Shane Walsh.
Keeper did well here. Had the collision there at the same time.
He was brave because he knew he was going to hit the post. The free dispatched very, very well. Shane Walsh scoring 4 points in a row at one stage. He scored 5 in all, 3 from frees, 1 from a 45, 1 from play. Just a leg left in there on Cunningham. Perhaps Crokes a little lucky to get that free, but they took full advantage from guess who?
I think so. This is the questionable one, wasn't it?
Yep. It was awarded in the end. McGowan getting inside. Here's Dara Mullen.
Yeah, Ross McGowan is a really intelligent footballer, and he had the composure there to pass it to the shooter, and a fine finish by Dara.
Good ball in by Kirby, looking for Murray. Slipped through the hands of O'Brien. Yeah. Was that a penalty?
No, keeper was going with 2 hands down to try and gather the ball. Murray got his hand, just a fingertip on it. Both players playing the ball. Advantage was going to the goalkeeper because the ball was going towards him.
Murray into the square. Another goal chance for Thomas Davis here. Shovlin couldn't keep a hold of it. Off the woodwork. Purple and gold quicker to react than green and gold. Shane Walsh had the runner, Andy McGowan, outside. Was he going to pass to him? No, he wasn't. And this is why. Because he can almost score points like that.
I think he pointed to Andy to make the initial run first, and Andy didn't take the bait.
Yeah, he missed one. He wasn't going to miss another one. Not like that.
Great run by Ryan Deegan here. Sets up an opportunity. Was that a free there?
It looked like a free to me.
Yeah.
He was being dragged back, and the arm didn't go up, so advantage wasn't being played.
No.
Off the woodwork, and it rebounded to Guilfoyle. Sometimes
they did deserve that score for sure.
Yeah, they really did. So that's it, half time in an intriguing go ahead Dublin Senior 1 Championship semi-final. Kilmacud Crokes leading by 3. Thomas Davis will have the breeze at their backs in the second half. That breeze not as strong as it was yesterday, not even as strong as it was for the first game. As we speak, you can see it on the 45 to the left as we look. The Crokes management team having a chat amongst themselves. They're talking for a long time there, Paul.
Right in the middle of the kids.
Yep.
You know, that shows great composure. All the kids running around, enjoying themselves, hurls, slitters, footballs, soloing, heading, everything.
Yep.
And they're discussing how they're going to win this club championship semi-final.
And I imagine the players are having a discussion amongst themselves. They're actually giving the players a lot of responsibility there. How will they react? We'll find out in a couple of minutes' time. Don't forget, you can join the conversation via hashtag GoAheadDSF1. We'd love to hear from you. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel, and everything we'll do will pop up automatically. We'll be back for the second half. Stay with us. We're about to start the second half. Kilmacud Crokes up against Thomas Davis in the go-ahead Dublin Senior 1 Football Championship semi-final. Nafina awaiting the winners. Paul, I've watched back that penalty incident numerous times, as in the one with Ferris and Murray colliding 24 minutes in. In retrospect, I think it was a penalty because the ball was knocked away and Ferris kind of leaned into him. I think he knew what he was doing. It was clever goalkeeping. It's always clever when you get away with it, but Thomas Davis might consider themselves unfortunate not to have gotten a penalty. I'm not sure what you think. Do you change your mind? Are you still thinking what you were thinking at the time?
Yeah, I do understand. I see both sides of the argument, alright. You know, if the keeper was a little bit braver to dive on the ball, you know, to the advantage, he stood up, maybe went down to his knees, hands out. Murray was very brave in getting the hand in there. You know, it didn't even look like Dave Feeney paid any interest into it, and he was pretty close to what was going on, so we'll just leave that for another day and decide afterwards.
Well, you know what, Thomas Davis have a long time to put it right if they feel they have been wronged. Craig Diaz wins the free. Kilmacud Crokes in the purple and gold, Thomas Davis in the green and gold. And they thought they'd intercepted the ball there through Davy Keogh, but there was a foul off the ball. The referee is speaking to Ryan Deegan.
Yeah, what happened there was, as Craig was taking the free, Ryan ran behind him, just gave him a little bit of a nudge, and it caused him to miss-hit the ball. Dave Feeney seen it, and yellow card, I'd say, for Ryan at this stage.
He's a big unit, isn't he, Deegan, in the right sort of way. A yellow card. Robert Crilly picked one up earlier on for Thomas Davis. Thomas Davis with the breeze in the second half. Craig Diaz looking for options. Ben Shovelin makes a run, chasing after him Owen Lambert, and it's intercepted brilliantly by Cian Murphy. Shane Walsh is on him at the moment. Now it's Ryan Deegan. Deegan driving on, he's very strong, he wins the free. Carruth outside us, Davy Keogh. Sean Kennedy there as well. Carruth keeps going. Still Carruth, what a run this is. And then he puts his shoulder into the front, or did he play it on the ground? The referee seems to be indicating that he played it on the ground with his hands up.
There was probably an element of tiredness in his run, and he lost a little bit of balance, and the head went down. He lost a bit of balance and fell forward. The referee deemed that he sort of shoulder or head charged the tackle.
Had Farrelly as an option there as well, didn't take either. Killian O'Shea, Shane Cunningham. Killian O'Shea continued his run. Cunningham, Cian O'Connor, Ben Shovelin, Rory O'Carroll. Never looks like he's sprinting, O'Carroll, even though he's moving incredibly fast. He's just one of those players. Always looks like he's gliding. Speaking of which, Shane Walsh. It drifts wide. First wide of the second half for Crokes.
I'm sure Thomas Davis would love a start to the second half that he got to the first half. But in saying that point was crucial to finish the first half, and now a bit of possession, make no mistakes, and try and get it up the pitch and get it to their shooters.
Hugh Kenny is off for the rest of the game. It looks like he's actually still walking back to the benches there. If Crokes get there, he'll hope to be right for the final. It's a big if at this stage. Ball delivered by Waddick. Great work by Guilfoyle to win it back. Guilfoyle up against Mullen, and they run out of pitch, and it's a line ball to Crokes. And Robbie Brennan was giving it the full double fist pump and clapping his hands.
Yeah, Robbie got his hands out of his pockets there to celebrate that one, alright.
Risky enough, falling over there was Conor Guilfoyle. Ferris. Dan O'Brien. While Dan O'Brien roams forward, Ross McGowan is barking directions, then runs onto it. Shovelin wants it and gets it. Bit of a land of the giants around the middle there between Shovelin and Deegan, isn't it? Cian O'Connor, free out.
I'm just saying the involvement. Ross McGowan was on an O'Byrne Cup team we had a number of years ago, and in credit and fairness to him, he said, you need to look at my brother Andy, he's a better footballer than me. You know, and it turned out soon after that Andy made it into the Dublin squad, and was playing in an era where Dublin had an amazing amount of great defenders, and he just couldn't break it into that front six. Obviously, he couldn't break it into the best, say, 10 defenders he had, and was on the periphery. But a fine footballer, and so was Ross.
Adam Fallon. Aaron Shorten. Well, now that Paul Mannion is back in the squad, I'm sure he'll speak up for the Crokes players like Ross did of his brother. Carruth laid it off. Ryan Deegan. Deegan sidestepping Craig Diaz. Deegan still going. That's some run. Deegan. I think he switched hands with the ball, did he?
Yeah, Ryan has an unbelievable left foot, but not known for his right foot, and that's where it'd be ideal to have a right-footed shot there, and he had to carry that little bit more, carried it too far.
Another yellow card. It's for Gavin Carruth this time around. McGowan. Ferris. Shovlin. Diaz. O'Carroll. Shovlin. Great block. Murray was the target. He didn't get the ball though. It was a poor pass to him. O'Brien.
That was a chance there. Like they had, 4-on-4. Crokes with their turning facing their own goal, and Davis, if he got that ball through there, I think there was a great chance for them.
Remember, we've got the hurling semi-final live next Sunday on Dubs TV. The Saturday game will be live on RTE. Nothing confirmed yet, but I cannot imagine that TG Cahir or RTE won't show the Dublin Senior 1 football final between Nafina and Thomas Davis or Kilmacud Crokes. So, Paul, this could be our last spin out on the Senior 1 football of the year. McGowan, free in for Crokes. I actually had a chat with Dan St. Ledger, the Sylvester's manager. The Senior 2 football final still to come as well. Those two meeting on the same weekend, maybe even the same day, as part of a double header as the Senior 1 final, Vincent's and Sylvester's. And Dan St. Ledger said, look, our aim was to get back up into Senior 1 Championship, but we really want to give that game a rattle. We really want to give it a go and test ourselves against St. Vincent's to prove they can do it against one of the big boys. Walsh goes backwards. Mullen. McGowan. Killian O'Shea. Back inside to Andy McGowan. Nice looping run, charging on is Aidan Jones. Jones looked like he had lost it somehow, kept it under control, gets the shot away and hooks it wide.
Didn't really want to shoot there. He got through and he couldn't believe his luck that he was in space. And then, it was a last second decision to take the shot on and wasn't really balanced to do that.
They have to be careful here, and they are through Aaron Shorten. Oisin Kelly has come in, by the way, for Thomas Davis. Under 21 All-Ireland winner with Dublin. His dad Paul managed the club. He's just back from injury, so he might well have started only for that. Eamon Conroy directing the traffic. Good work by Owen Kirby. Back to Kirby. They're showing good patience, Thomas Davis.
Yeah, well, Crokes are standing off them. They're making a bit of a purple line across the halfway line, and they're allowing them keep the ball.
It's a risky one. Murray tried to get under it, leaning into him there cleverly was Ross McGowan, and it's a wide.
Yeah, Patience is a virtue.
Is it one you have?
No. What did he say? Seldom in a woman and never in a man. But that was something. They kept possession of the ball there, and then it was just a hit and hope. Really, it was disappointing from Thomas Davis to do that.
I thought as a coach, the one thing you would have to have is patience. Here's Craig Diaz. Shane Walsh. Shovlin made the run. Walsh went backwards instead. Michael Mullen. Shane Cunningham. McGowan. Dan O'Brien, I beg your pardon. It opens up a little bit. Tom Fox hasn't seen a whole pile of the football in the second half. Thomas Davis with 13 behind the ball. Dan O'Brien. Craig Diaz. Diaz. Great block. I think it might have been shortened. And now Thomas Davis will try and move it quickly on the counter. Owen Kirby wanted it. They'll carry it instead. O'Sheen Kelly is on this near side if they can find him. They might need to find him. Keogh still going. Keogh releases the shot. Keogh with a mighty score if it goes over, which it does. His first. What a way to get off the mark. First score of the second half. 2 points in it.
The score is great. The block is nearly better. That's what lifts a team.
Unbelievable running from Keogh, and to finish like that, having made the run he did, that's it says an awful lot about his fitness, his composure, his skill. Tom Fox. Craig Diaz. Shane Walsh. O'Carroll. It opens up for O'Carroll. I thought he might have a pop. He won't. Dara Mullen was fouled. Thomas Davis, don't think he was. Strong protest from Sean Farrelly.
Again, the player goes to ground on the ball. There's no need to put any body weight on top of him to keep him down there. He could have easily just turned the ball over for over carrying, so it'd be disappointing. You know, sometimes as a result of a great block and a great score, there's a lot of energy come into your team and a lot of appetite and a drive, but sometimes you need to have a little bit of composure. Situations like that, to know that you have plenty of bodies around it, you're in charge of it, not to overstep the mark.
Shane Walsh. First score of the second half for Kilmacud Crokes. Crelly drifts one beautifully to Deegan, who spills it but to his teammate. He spilled it on purpose, fisting it forward there. Cian Murphy. Sean Farley turning and twisting, turned 23 during the week. He'd love a late birthday present of getting to the Senior 1 final. Davy Keogh. Keogh trying to get around Shovlin. It's not easy to do. Back it goes to Kirby. Cian Murphy. Gavin Carruth. Carruth on one of those mesmerising runs. That's risky, and it's a risk that doesn't pay off. Dan O'Brien was waiting for it. Now it's Andy McGowan. McGowan just checks back and gives it to O'Brien, who was following him all the way. Had to keep his composure there. He did. Craig Diaz comes back to help out. Killian O'Shea had to come back in to get it, but loads of time, loads of space. Shane Walsh, not afraid to work hard, not afraid to get back, is he? McGowan, O'Brien.
Kilmacud keeping plenty of width here. We've O'Connor right underneath us here, and actually Ross McGowan is up playing at left half forward, keeping width to the pitch.
Shane Walsh. Crokes going for a treble, remember. The Crokes ladies team won their championship, beating Thomas Davis in the final. You can watch that back, actually. We had it on Dubs TV not last Friday night, the Friday before. O'Carroll. Dan O'Brien. Good tackle by Murray. And then Murray takes it. It's a little bit loose, but Oisin Kelly was there to get his hands on it. Diaz closing down Crilly. Crilly gets the ball away. Dara Mullen was playing Buckaroo there. Thomas Davis making a change. Looks like, is it Aaron Shorten who's making his way off on the far side?
I think it's Anthony Quinns that are coming in for Crokes as well.
Sean Farley has gone off.
I think maybe Keane O'Connor, who would come on originally as a blood sub, has been taken off for Crokes.
Fallon. They had to be careful here. Crilly up high, but in the right place. Read the danger well. Let's go down to Shane Stapleton, who's on the sideline. Shane, what's happening? Actually, we'll come back to you in just a second, because Ryan Deegan is marauding forward, looking to get inside. Rory O'Carroll sweeps up the danger. Crokes will get down the park. We'll stick with this move. We'll go to Shane at the next break and play. Dara Mullen outside. Killian O'Shea got his hands on that one. Aidan Jones. McGowan backing him up. Things appear to have slowed down, so let's go down to Shane on the sideline. Shane. Shane, thanks for now. Fionn Murray being spoken to by the referee. He gets a yellow card. Crokes have a man down, just off camera at the moment. And that man is Aidan Jones. Looks like Shane Horan is about to come in, the former Offaly player. I think they're making a double sub.
Yeah, it could be Keane O'Connor coming back on now.
Yeah. Shane Walsh. Crokes in a good position, but still a long way to go. Kenny. Bottled up, foul, free in.
Another yellow card for Daves. This right scattering throughout their team now at this moment in time.
Crokes making that change. Aidan Jones is going off. He was getting some treatment a couple of minutes ago. Shane Horan is already in, so they've made a couple of changes. Shane Walsh spinning the ball. Well, I don't think anyone expected any different result from that particular position. Shane Walsh getting his second point in a row. Crokes stretch it out to a 4-point lead.
Tom Fox always seems to be a player that never finishes a game for Crokes. He always puts in a good shift to work. And replaced there by Cian O'Connor, who's already probably
Yep.
put in 25, maybe 30 minutes of a game already. He's been on as a blood sub and off just for a couple of minutes. Maybe got some instructions from the sideline and come in and do another job for the team.
Gavin Carruth seems to be struggling a little bit for Thomas Davis. He's not moving particularly well. That's spilled out over the line ball for Crokes, who are really putting the pressure on now, really getting the scores. Well, 2 scores, but in the context of the second half, a second half that has seen only 3, that's enough to keep their noses in front by a distance. There's players going down all over the place at the moment. Shoveling. Hugh Kenny is down again. He's getting treatment. Craig Diaz out into the pocket. Shane Walsh. Andy McGowan.
Surprised the referee's letting this game go on with Hugh Kenny down.
Ross McGowan. Cian O'Connor.
Linesman-
Killian O'Shea wants it and gets it. Sorry, go ahead, Paul.
linesman is taking him off the pitch to do whatever run repairs has to be done.
Cian O'Connor. Shane Walsh. Michael Mullen. That's a foul. Michael Mullen stays down, takes the sting out of it, wastes a few seconds. Thomas Davis fans over to our left behind the Donny Carney church end singing "Come on you boys in green." It's great to have that kind of atmosphere, to have that kind of enthusiasm, to have that kind of interest from the younger members of your club. Flicked on by Shoveling into the path of Cunningham. Cunningham absolutely surrounded and eventually stripped of the ball. Ryan Deegan wins the free. He was tugged back there by Cunningham. Now he threw a little arm out there. He's already on a yellow.
Yeah.
The referee trying to calm things down. What will his decision be?
Well, definite frustration there. Cian O'Connor just wrapped around him. Was going to be a free all day long, but definitely Ryan swung back with an elbow.
Well, you hope for the game that he isn't sent off, but the referee, it's not up to him to let it flow or to keep things even. It's up to him to enforce the rules. A second yellow, it's a red. Thomas Davis down to 14. Well, with Thomas Davis, I'd never write them off. I'd never say that could be that, but it's a tough challenge for them now. Kilmacud Crokes have brought Conor Casey in. He's replaced Hugh Kenny, who's probably not unconvinced that he won't come back on for a third time. Started the game, went off as a blood sub, came back in. I think he's on the bench for the rest of the match now. That's Cian O'Connor receiving some treatment.
Killian O'Shea now orchestrating things for Crokes as to how they want to set up the defence, making sure there's protection, even though it might be just a one-on-one inside. He's going to go back there. He's a very experienced player, very intelligent player. So I would expect Crokes to use this extra man really well.
Hacked forward by Cian Murphy. Bravely taken, and a free out. The foot just left trailing there.
That's why Killian is there, just to mop up that type of stuff. You won't see him venturing too far from that area now.
Cian O'Connor. Craig Diaz into the hands of Conor Casey. Dan O'Brien draws it out. McGowan. Well, Crokes don't need to do anything spectacular here, but just hold on to possession and try and work the scoreboard as they possibly can, but McGowan. Thomas Davis with all 14 players behind the ball. Shane Walsh. Killian O'Shea. Poked forward by Walsh. O'Carroll. Not sure if you picked it up, but Shane Walsh was urging players forward there.
Yeah, he's urging players up the wing, but he's still requesting someone to sit back in the pocket here, just to man the defence. You'll notice if someone makes that run from that centre back position, someone always sits back into it. Same way if they switch across the pitch, someone else slots into it.
Cunningham, O'Carroll.
There's Rory makes the run from the centre. Killian O'Shea goes into the centre.
Dan O'Brien. No risks being taken by Crokes. They're not gambling on a 50-50 ball. All the passes are short and back and sideways. From their point of view, they're just doing what they need to do. Shane Walsh. Shovlin runs in behind. Little slip. Shane Walsh might have a pop. Sells a couple of dummies. Shane Walsh cushions it over. His second from play. His third of the second half. Thomas Davis haven't scored since the 41st minute. Cunningham. McGowan helps it on. Shane Horan. Cian O'Connor. Dara Mullen. Strong tackling from Davy Keogh. Mullen goes to ground, collides with the linesman. It's a Thomas Davis ball, a line ball. Well, we saw against Jude's, they're capable of a big finish, they're capable of getting goals when they're required. They are required now for Thomas Davis. They'll need at least one. Crilly coming up and supporting, as we say, formerly an outfield player. They'll have to gamble, they'll have to take risks. Adam Fallon, otherwise known as Peanut. Fallon. Kirby. Cutting back. Aon O'Toole. Aon O'Toole receives it back, goes for a kind of a looping run to see what's on. Aon O'Toole off to Cian Murphy. Into the mixer it goes. And it's a 45. Not a bad end result for Thomas Davis. Why not? Put it in there, test them out.
Yeah, two big players in there to contest it, but very well defended as well.
I think they won't put this one into the square. They'll just take the score if they possibly can. Murray's coming out to strike it.
Dave Feeney's going to have a word with someone. The umpire at the far end, the church end, has seen something. So Davey covers a lot of miles. He's a really good runner and a strong runner. He's a member of the Raheny Athletics Club, and it's a nice little jog warm up for him to speak to the umpire.
He has that form. You can tell he's an actual runner by the way he moves.
And again, as a footballer, he played for Parnells. He was one tough defender.
Parnell's unfortunately relegated this year.
Yeah, disappointing for a great club. Some great players, great stalwarts players who then went on to manage and help the club keep going. I think of Jimmy McGrain, and one of many that helped the club, and be very disappointed for them.
If memory serves, did they play Thomas Davis in one of the finals of Thomas Davis 3 in a row?
They would have, yes. Yeah.
I'm not sure what Dave Feeney or the officials spotted, but it ends with a yellow card for Thomas Davis.
So you'd hope now Daves has put a press on this following the kick out.
Josh Lambert with that yellow card. Fionn Murray. This one needs to go over. It's wide. Fionn Murray goes to ground. It was off camera. Looks at the referee Dave Feeney and wants a free.
Yeah.
Doesn't get it though.
Chris Salyer after coming in for Thomas Davis there. Murray actually had a bit of a contest with Shane Cunningham, and he was pointed out as the aggravator there, and he wasn't. And then I think Craig Diaz on the way out just said hello to him as well.
Salyer in for Thomas Davis, well capable of getting scores and big scores as well. Kicked a wonder point to keep them in Division 1 in recent times. Intercepting it for Crokes with Shane Horan. Horan taking off, the keeper still off his line. Will Horan go for it? No, he'll try and pick out O'Carroll. It's intercepted. Eamon Conroy got back, won the possession, and that keeps Thomas Davis alive. Davy Keogh. 2 hops.
That's disappointing for them. They were going forward there with numbers. To make an error like that's not something that really is going to help their cause.
Josh Lambert chasing after it. Chris Salyer also after it. Here's Shovelin. Crokes will just play keep ball. Well, Crokes have had 2 good tests in the last 2 games against Kula and now Thomas Davis. If they do go to the final, which you would expect them to do, they'll be going well prepared. O'Carroll. Shovelin. McGowan. Mullen. Conor Casey. Casey just playing his own game out there at the moment. That's lost by Quinn. Thomas Davis have it back. They need to get a score from this play.
It's got to be a goal, I think.
Kirby wants it and gets it. He's got Ross McGowan stuck to him. They have got the free in. They'll take it quickly. Falls into the path of Oisin Kelly. Kelly completely bottled up. Murray. Not sure how long they've got injury time wise, but they probably need 2 goals now as opposed to just 1. Good hand in. Falls to Casey. He can't take it cleanly. And there's a foul. It's a free out. Reaction to come, by the way, at full time with Shane. So stay tuned to that, or for that. And don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel, and all the games we cover will pop up for you. Driving on for Kilmacud Crokes, Cian O'Connor. Shane Horan wants it and gets it. Shane Walsh. Shane Walsh trying to get away from Fallon. Walsh. Good save by Crilly. Breaks back to Walsh. A brave block. Thomas Davis still alive, just about. Murray. Those blocks can energise their team. Aaron Shorten made that block for Thomas Davis. Murray, he needs to launch it. Well, they'll try and work it. Oh, it's intercepted. That's frustrating. Mullen. Mullen moved it on to McGowan.
And keeper's not in again, pushed up the pitch.
Shovelin. Diaz wants it and gets it. Running onto it, Dara Mullen. And Shane Horan outside. Shovelin right beside him. Also around there, Conor Casey.
That was a phenomenal block. You know, I really wish that was a game-winning block, but unfortunately it wasn't. How Shane Walsh was probably ready to celebrate.
Crokes looking for another score. Cian O'Connor guides it over. Fine point from Cian O'Connor. And Thomas Davis down to 14 for the last few minutes. Had a penalty call that went against them in the first half, as in they thought they should have had a penalty. Didn't go their way. Little things and big things going against them today, but Crokes, in fairness to them, have been the better team. Fallon read easily by the defender, and Conor Casey with the last touch of the game for Kilmacud Crokes, intercepting that attempted ball into the square. Crokes will meet Na Fianna in the go-ahead Dublin Senior 1 Football Championship final. The final score of the semi-final: Kilmacud Crokes 12 points, Thomas Davis 1-3. Paul, what did you make of it?
Yeah, look, Crokes did what they had to do. They didn't panic after going behind to that early goal, an error by them. Chipped away at the scoreboard. A lot of frees, obviously, rather than free scoring from play. What I would say is that they'd probably need to pick it up another notch based on what we've seen yesterday from Na Fianna. They will have to pick it up another notch to compete with them. But, you know, disappointing for Thomas Davis. They showed a lot of heart, no more than that block that we seen right at the end. Losing a man didn't help the cause. But you know, they should be proud of what they did.
Crokes looking to do a back-to-back for the first time since the 04-05 championships. They're looking for a 10th Dublin senior title, and it will be Na Fianna who they'll play in the final. That should be an open enough game, should it?
I would imagine so. Like, you know, with the threats that both teams have in their forward line, obviously we're going to have a close look to see how Paul Mannion is and if he becomes available. You know, will Na Fianna have a tactic or a game plan to pick up Shane Walsh? He seemed to orchestrate a lot of things in the game, and Na Fianna will need to know, and they do know, that they can't afford to give away any frees, because he will punish them.
Thomas Davis have given it everything here today. They always do. Hasn't been enough. Maybe they were unlucky to not get a penalty in the first half. I don't think they can have any complaints about the sending off. Even at that stage, it wasn't looking good for them, and Ryan Deegan was shown a second yellow, and I think both offences that he committed were yellow cards.
Yeah, there was a little bit of frustration in what was going on. You know, it was a clear view of the referee. Certainly Cian O'Connor knew what he was doing in getting his two arms around him and pulling him to the ground to stop them progressing going forward. And you know, Ryan was frustrated, and you know, a tall man with a long arm swinging it at a small head, it still counts as a double yellow and a red to go off.
It's tough for Thomas Davis. They wanted to get to the final. They wanted to get back to the final. First since 2019. They were beaten by Ballyboden in that decider. Kieran Farrelly was playing that day. He's the manager now, but they've got a lot of young talent. There's no reason why they can't bounce back. But there's no consolation to them, is it? It's a long, long wait to get back to championship football now, and doing well one year is no guarantee that you'll do well the next. It does sometimes happen, as we've seen with Crokes, Dublin and Leinster champions last season, and now they're back in the Dublin Senior Football Final. Shane Walsh, how much difference does he make for Crokes, especially when they're without Mannion?
Oh, look, there's no doubt it was enjoyable to watch him there, the way he carries the ball, he solos, his passing, his free taking. Like, there's no doubt there's hours upon hours and days upon days of practice in that free taking. You know, and he's a big plus, and he has to be a bigger plus now and a bigger asset. And now, if we're hearing that Paul Mannion may be out for the county final, where they play him, he actually looked really comfortable at centre half forward. And look, at times there, when he had his goal chance, he was playing from the full forward line. So anywhere he's going to be a threat. But you know, he brings things together for them, and maybe takes a bit of pressure off some other forwards, that quality forwards that we know that Kilmacud have. So like Shane Cunningham and Darren Mullen, you know, will all make a difference too on a scoreboard.
If the final is not on Dubs TV, it will be on somewhere, be it RTE or TG Cahir. Obviously, we'd love to show you the game, but if it's not us, it will be someone, so you will get to see it. Even better though than seeing it is being here. Keep an eye out on the Dublin GA social media channels and the Dublin GA website for ticket details in the next couple of days. We're back to hurling next weekend. We've got the semi-final live on Sunday, both Senior 1 and Senior 2. The semi-final that features on Saturday is going to be live on RTE. I think Shane Stapleton is wandering around the pitch. He's going to find someone to talk to in a bit of a while. Maybe he's a cooler man and they want to avoid him. But he will find someone. He will get some reaction from the Kilmacud Crokes camp. For Thomas Davis, hugs all around, handshakes, pats on the back. Probably not much consolation to them. But I suppose today just beaten by the better team. There were some moments in the game where you thought could be Thomas Davis's day, when Fionn Murray got that goal in the 4th minute to put them 1-1 to no score up. One suspected it might be their day, as it was when they played Crokes in the 2019 championship on their way to the final. But then Crokes got the next 8 scores after that. It was the 33rd minute, the 3rd minute of injury time in the first half by the time that Thomas Davis got their next score after Murray got that goal to put them 1-1 to no score up. In the second half, scores really hard to come by. Thomas Davis getting just the 1, Crokes getting 4. Let's have a look at the highlights before we get some reaction from pitch side. The highlights of the second half, that is. Paul Clark, talk us through them.
Yeah, this is Ryan Deegan on one of his long runs, but he overcarried it. You can see the composure of Shane Walsh just setting players up for their scores. Again, it's some fantastic blocks by Davis. Their defence did really well and kept them in the game for long periods of that. You know, epitomises what they're all about. That was a great score, I think, by Davy Keogh, having carried the ball a long distance and kicking it. As I said, Rory doesn't make a run from centre half back unless he knows that he has some sort of coverage there. Like, you know, that was a free that was going to be won by Thomas Davis until he put the weight on his back and pushed him to ground. They don't really need to do that. It wasn't necessary. There's another yellow card, that situation here as well.
Yeah, Hugh Kenny running in off the wing, had to change jerseys due to a blood sub. Shane Walsh doing the necessary.
You know, Kilmacud had no real, they weren't challenged at all. That was the second yellow card. They weren't challenged at all in defence. You know, they really know that they're going to have it against themselves when you have Conor McHugh and the forward line that I know we didn't see James Dordan yesterday, whether he was injured. That's another player to come into the Phoenix forward line. Could be a big threat, so Kilmacud will have to be at their best. This is a phenomenal block.
A block by Aaron Shorten. The block of the year, I think it's fair to say.
Yeah. You have to remember as well, Thomas Davis hit woodwork a few times in the first half, and then they also had one with the keeper being dropped.
Shane just jumped in ahead of us there. He's talking to Darren Mullet.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Jesus, didn't have the start we wanted at all. All the preparation for the last 2 weeks kind of goes out the window a little bit. But yeah, no, we had good practice of kind of coming from behind last year. So in fairness, long way to go when we went behind. So we just stuck at it, and thankfully we came out the right side. So
yeah, and what was it you think that caused that slightly slow start, or maybe they were just clinical when they got the ball up the other end?
Yeah, like we knew Thomas Davis were going to really come at us right from the start. They're a very physical, well drilled team, very vocal and a lot of energy. So we were under no illusions that they were going to come at us with a big start. We tried to match it, but unfortunately we couldn't. But yeah, something to work on for the next day anyway.
Yeah, and back into another final. Going to be a cracker.
Yeah, it's great. It's always a privilege to get to a county final. It's a special occasion for both ourselves, our families and the club. So we'll really look forward to it. And we saw Na Fianna last night, and they were very, very impressive. So we have a huge challenge ahead of us. There wasn't much between us last year, so we're really looking forward to the challenge, and hopefully we can put up a good performance.
Of course, you didn't have Paul Mannion for a lot of the run last year when he got injured, and you still got to the Club All Ireland, got so close. He was missing again, so that was a huge blow. But the likes of obviously Shane Cunningham came in as the starter, and he's very seasoned pro at this stage. And Shane Walsh, the way he directs traffic, he just seems to have settled into the group so well, so quickly, that he has the confidence to do that. Yeah,
obviously, firstly on Paul, like it's a great shame that he's picked up an injury again. It's very disappointing for him, but he's hugely supportive of the group, and we like to think that we're going to be trying to do it for him, I suppose, in a way. Walshy kind of coming in, he's really integrated to the group really well. He's got a wealth of experience, obviously, from playing with Galway. He's great on the ball, got 2 feet. He's a great addition to have. All right.
Brilliant stuff, Dara. Really appreciate it, and best of luck in the final.
Brilliant, thanks, Shane.
Can you sign this?
Yeah, no problem at all.
And Dara, more than willing to sign the autograph for his very, very patient fan who looked at him. Did you see the look that kid gave him? Like he was a hero, like he was part of the Avengers or something.
So polite when he was there waiting for them. He never said a word, and he just looked up and waited. So polite, and a proud dad standing behind watching on as well.
Yep. Kilmacud Crokes will play Nafina in the final. They met last year in the quarter-finals, by the way. Crokes winning that game 111 to 12 points, and as Dara referenced, they're expecting another tight one when they meet in the decider in a couple of weeks' time. I won't push you for a prediction because it's so far out, but the way Dara phrased it there, we'll try to do it for Paul, indicates that they may already know that Paul Mannion is out.
Yeah, he did say it's a big disappointment for them, and obviously they understand that the heartache it is for Paul Mannion. Like, he's come back from a few injuries, and obviously a bad one last year, and as we think but hope not that it's a bad one this year that keeps him out of a county final. I'm sure Kilmacud are doing all that's medically right to try and get him back for that, and like, we hope to see him because he is such a quality player.
Okay, Paul Clark, for now, thank you very much. It's back to hurling next week. We've got the two semi-finals, the Senior 1 and Senior 2 semi-finals, live on Dubs TV on the Sunday. The Saturday game is live on RTE as far as I'm aware. If it's not, then we'll show it to you. Either way, you'll be able to watch the hurling next weekend. It is Senior 1 Hurling Championship semi-final time between Kilmacud Crokes and Ballyboden. That's next Saturday night at 7:30. Then the next day at 4 o'clock, Coola take on Nafina. Nafina, of course, still going for the double, as are Kilmacud Crokes. That's our live game on Sunday afternoon. Coola taking on Nafina in the Senior 1 semi-final the night before. Crokes up against Bowden. What a tantalising fixture that will be, and that will be live on RTE television, so you can watch that if you can't get to the game. If you can get to that game, it's definitely worth watching. The Senior 2 semi-finals also taking place next weekend on Saturday afternoon at 5:15. Whitehall Columkill taking on Ballantyre St John's, and then on Sunday at 2:15 it's Fox against Castleknock, and that will be live here on Dubs TV. That's it from Paul and myself and all the gang, including Shane here and Jay and Colm, who put it all together, and a technical sense Derek Ryan is always great help from Dublin County Board, and Malachy, whose son is watching on from Sweden, here as always manning the scoreboard. That's it from Parnell Park, where Kilmacud Crokes have sealed their place in the go-ahead Dublin Senior Football Championship final. The double still on for them, as it is for Nafina. Keep an eye out on all the social media channels for more on the semi-finals next weekend in the hurling, and the football final coming up in a couple of weeks' time. For now, though, I'll say thanks to you for watching.